Hi, my name is Matome Raphasha, founder of Career Builders Academy, co-author of Get Ahead, Get Beyond The Internship, how to work smart and jumpstart your career from any skill development program, internship, learnership, apprenticeship, and etc. It was through the structuring of the book that actually we wanted to build a step-by-step program or step-by-step guide that learners will learn, what the readers will get as they read the book. So if you look at how we divided the book into parts. So part A, which is titled Before You Start, it's all about giving insight into what exactly these programs are. Because what we found out, also we ourselves did the very same thing. It's you go into a program but you are not even sure as to what the programs are about. So some don't even know the difference between a learnership, an internship, and apprenticeship. So if you don't know those things, then you wouldn't be able to get exactly what the program is aimed at. So part A, it's specifically aimed at helping them to get the definition of the program that they are in. So in essence, it gives them an expectations of what they should expect when joining an internship. We also used an analogy to help them understand that, which is a story of somebody who wakes up in the middle of a ship. So if you want to read more about it, it's in the book. Then part B of the book is self-introspection. It's the reason we made it the second one is after you understand a program, you have to understand that for you to succeed in any program, be it even in employment, in anything you do, you have to understand yourself first. So that's why we emphasized, we made sure that the second it's understanding yourself, who you are as an individual, beside what you have, beside your qualification, beside the career direction you have taken. Who are you as an individual? So in this chapter, self-introspection, we help the reader to understand who they are, or what their purpose would be, what they believe they were born to accomplish in this earth. And then we also focus on success, because if you look at success, the word success is one of the vague words that we normally use, but it's not clear as to what it actually means. So in the chapter, we have a chapter specifically in part B that's called Define Your Success. So in that chapter, we want you as a reader to define what you regard as success. When you say you are successful, even if we can fast forward 20 years from now, when you say I'm successful, what actually would you mean? What would you have accomplished? So how do you define success? Not how the world defines success, not how your neighbor defines success, but how do you as an individual define success? Because you can never achieve what you don't understand. You can never achieve what you have not yet defined as what it is. So in that chapter, we also show a formula for success, which the formula helps you understand how to achieve success. So also in part B, we have what is called skills inventory. This is one of the key chapters that I was very keen on when we were writing this chapter, that we must really spend some time in making readers to understand. Skills inventory, it's if you were running a shop, you would do what is called a stock inventory, where you go into the shop and tick what you already have within the shop and what is missing. Then you will go and stock what is missing. So skills inventory is the same principle here, where now you, instead of a shop, you now look into yourself. What skills do I currently have as an individual? And then given that you know what you want to achieve, then you can be able to identify what skills you are short of. Because if you are not sure which career you're building, then you wouldn't be sure as to what skills do you need to build that career. So in skills inventory, we try to show you that you already have certain skills that you already possess. I call this as, I refer to it as your toolbox. My belief is everybody is born with a toolbox, and then within that toolbox you already have some tools that you currently have, and then in all our life as we live, we keep filling that toolbox with new tools. So in career building, it's how we use the tools we have in our toolbox to build whatever career we want. So the mistake we make is to think that the qualification that we have is the only tool we have. And then we think that if we don't have a qualification, you don't have any tools, which is not correct. Because if you look at the skills, you have a type of different skills. You have your trades, you have your transferable skills, and you have your knowledge skills. So some of those skills you get even if you never went to any school. So if we can help you identify those skills one by one, not looking at the qualification, but the skills you have, because also when you do a qualification, there are a number of skills that you acquire within their qualification. So if we can also identify them individually, and then once we identify individually and then be able to identify what can you do with each skill, whether be it a career. For instance, if you look at me now currently, I speak, I write, I'm also a facilitator, I also design courses, and I also invest, I'm also an entrepreneur. So some of those skills, if you look at my qualification says I'm a business analyst. I'm supposed to be doing business processes and all those things, but those are some of the skills I have. So it's a tool in my toolbox, but there are skills. Speaking, I've been speaking, I can speak, every person can speak. Writing, every person can write. So the question is, do you recognize the skills you currently have? You must not fall into the trap of treating your qualification as a present sentence that you must have. You must understand that it's only a tool in your toolbox. So you can use one tool in your toolbox or can use a combination of tools to build a career that you want. So in skills inventory, after you do this, we have it's a process. It's a process that helps you to identify this, because we take you step by step. At the end, we get to a stage where you have to select what career line you want to take. Maybe if you've already chosen a career you want to do, then now the question is, who is your model who's already doing that career? So which individual, have you identified somebody who is already doing what you want to do? That would be your model. So the question now is, looking at your model and looking at the career or the job that you're doing, what skills, specific skills, did they use to achieve the level that they have achieved? And then now, if you can identify the skills that they have, the qualification they have, or the tools that they have, and then specifically the tools they use to build their careers, not necessarily, because not all of the tools that they have, they use them. So which are the key ones that they have used to build their career? Then now look at you yourself. You do an inventory now, looking at, okay, this is the career I want. Now, this is what the career requirements are. Now, you do inventory and say, this is what I have. These are the skills I have. These are the qualifications I have. These are the experiences I have. Then you go and say, which ones do I need? You say, this is the new qualification that I need. This is the new skills that I need to acquire. And then these are the new experiences that I need to acquire. Then you tick all those things. Then from there, you have to put a plan as to how you're going to acquire them. How are you going to acquire these new tools that you need? Is it going back to school? Is it getting a voluntary job? Or is it getting a mentor? Or is it going on YouTube and studying? Because one of my beliefs is education has and will always be free. It is only the certification that is not free. So I've learned a lot of what I do now through I've been self-taught. I don't have qualification to show them, but then I can do them. So somehow you look at those skills as to which skills can you acquire by yourself? Can you get self-taught? Which most of the skills you'll have to get self-taught, honestly. So in this part, we deal with identifying those ones. Then we show you that career building is more about the track record you build. So you have to learn to build a track record now, since that you know what you want, then you know what you don't have, and then that you know what you need going forward. Also, we touch on something, on a very important point called mastery versus information overload. You know, we are living in an era where there's a lot of information out there. This is also information that we're giving you. So the danger is if you keep going through a whole lot of information and not actually mastering any of the information, or using information that you don't even know how it fits in your career plans. So one of the things we teach is, once you understand the direction that you're taking, you have to be careful not to be following every information that you find, but then rather focus now on mastery versus information overload. So the question is, when you start to read a new book, ask yourself, how does it fit in me accomplishing my goals, my career goals, my life goals, and everything. Don't just do everything for the sake of doing it, but understand how they fit in your career, in your goals, in your plans. So this is where we reduce the information overload, because a lot of us are overloaded with information that we don't even use. And part C specifically deals with, it's a preparation chapter. Part C has 3 specific chapters: preparation before going into a program, challenges that you must expect in the program, and number 3, jumpstarting your career while you're in the program. So in these 3 chapters within this part, we are specifically looking at what are the specific things that you can do to prepare yourself before going into the program, before the first day at the program. So what are the specific things that you need to do, or that you need to be aware of, or that you need to prepare on your side for you to be ready, for you to be able to take full advantage of the opportunities that you are given. And then the challenges, we give you a whole lot of challenges that we have experienced, that many have experienced through our researches that we have found, and we'll also give you ways that you can handle those challenges, because some of them you have to understand that when you enter a workplace, there are now rules and regulations that you now have to follow. So if you are in an argument, or something is bothering you, what are the protocols? How do you understand the protocols and channels to raise a concern? Or maybe if your boss is not meeting the requirements, or doing their obligations, or they're not even giving you work. So because these are some of the challenges that we faced, or also other people faced, where you find that you are assigned a mentor, your mentor doesn't even pay attention to you, or maybe you are being bullied by some of your colleagues or the employees in the company, or different things, different challenges, or being sidelined, or being used as a scapegoat. So there are many challenges. We highlight a lot in the book, and we highlight how you can handle such challenges as they come. So this chapter specifically deals with challenge. We have a whole chapter on that. Then lastly, we show you how do you jumpstart your career in the company, because now you are in. What must you do specifically when you are in to prepare for a successful journey ahead of you, to jumpstart your career? So there are a number of things that we share in there. Just read the book, you'll get more. Part D, it's one of the most important, according to me, parts that we have written in this book. I think it deserves its own book by itself. Part D, because it's number one. I think it's the number one challenge that is facing each and every person building a career. I think this part is the number one career building killer. I think a lot of people are now doing what they don't love, are in careers they don't like. They are doing jobs instead. They are in jobs. They are job seekers and job workers instead of career builders, specifically because of the challenges in this part. And I believe that a lot of people are stuck in life specifically because of this part. And I think that a lot of people were also stuck for a number of years up to pension doing things they don't like because of this part. So part D is called personal finances. We're talking about money. Let's talk money. So this is one of the chapters that it has taken us a whole lot of time to write, because we wanted to write it in a simple and basic manner that each and every person can understand what we are talking about and be able to apply the strategies that we have shared in the book. So to achieve that, we used a story of one of the people who have interviewed, and then we put a story of the mistakes under the chapter called Common Money Mistakes that this person did with regards to money. Number one, sometimes we don't understand. A lot of people who start careers, especially through internships and learnerships, majority of us, the salary we get or the stipend we get is the first salary we ever received, ever. So there are a lot of challenges that we face when we receive that first salary. A lot. The danger is we are not prepared as to how do we handle them. We are not trained. Nobody spoke to us. You go through school, nobody ever speak to you about money management. So money management becomes a major career building killer that is going to destroy and has destroyed a lot of careers, and is still doing so. And it pains me even speaking about it, because I look back at some of the mistakes that I've made, and I'm still paying for them even now. And a lot of people are in that position also, where some of the mistakes we made during the first 1 to 2 years of our careers, where we got into a lot of debt. Because the moment you get a salary or a pay slip, access to debt, it's easy. It's easy. There's cell phones, new contracts that we go into. There are clothing and store, retail cards that we take. There's just a lot of expectation. There's black tax. There's many expectation from everyone, and then we are not ready. We are not ready as to how do you handle this. So in this part, we take a whole lot of time to discuss issues that affect how we manage our money. Number one being money philosophy. A lot of us don't understand our money philosophy. We don't even understand how we came to have or to understand or to spend money the way we are spending money. The truth of the matter is, a lot of us, our money philosophy comes from our background. It's how we grew up, or what we grew up seeing, or what was happening in our surrounding that determines how we view money. If you grew up in a society where the only way to show that you are working is by driving a brand new car, or by moving to a new place, or by your cell phone, therefore your money philosophy will dictate how you're going to spend your money. So you find that a lot of decisions that you're going to do with your first salary, or with the money that you get within the period that you start the first year, is going to be dictated by that. You will be trying to catch up to that. So that is all driven by your money philosophy. So we spend a whole lot of time explaining the money philosophy, how you got it, how to deal with it, and how to change it. Then from there we deal with the common money mistakes by telling the story of a young person who did the mistakes, and then we explain the philosophy. Then from there we end part D of the finances, personal finances, with a chapter called Get Beyond the Salary. Get Beyond the Salary, it's a chapter that we believed it was necessary for us to include this chapter, because where we are now, we find ourselves in a situation where we're wondering, why were we not taught methods to build income streams and not entirely depend on our salary? Because we find ourselves now being too much dependent on one income stream, that a lot of things are now pressurized. We are like, I heard somebody call us the sandwich generation, where everything and everyone is pressing on us. So in this chapter we focus on how do you turn your income, your salary, into other income streams. So we teach the different type of income streams, which is end income, which is the money that you earn by working. So your salary being the end income, and then second one being the passive income, which is money that you don't work for, but then you get from not working. So it's we teach now the principle of turning earned income into passive income. So we give a lot of streams that you can take to build a second income stream and a fourth income stream. So common ways that you can do that, which include starting another business on the side, which also include investing in properties, which include shares, which include savings, normal savings and retail bonds. We do share a number of those avenues that you can do to get a second income stream. And then we show the difference that how you reach a financial independence. It's when your passive income it's above your earned income. So you can make a living or you can maintain the lifestyle that you want through your passive income, money that you get by not working, but that you just get through your investments. So that is when you have say, I've reached financial freedom, when you can take 3 months leave and still be able to pay your bills. Part E. Part E, it's one of the interesting parts really also, because Part E is all about exit strategies called Get Ahead, Get Beyond. So we are finalizing the whole book here. Get Ahead, Get Beyond, which is Part E of the book, specifically deals with exit strategy. The truth of the matter is, at the end of the day, a program, skill development programs, whether it be internship, whether it be a learnership, whether it be an apprenticeship, they are all temporary in nature. So they are not going to be they are not permanent work positions. So in this chapter, in this part, we teach our readers to plan ahead for their exit out of the program, because they must remember that the program is a stepping stone to building a career. So now, once you move out of the program, it's not the end. How do you further build your career? How do you get ahead and beyond? So in this chapter, we dealing with those pressures, dealing with those challenges of planning ahead. So we focus on number one, your emotions, understanding, getting your emotions right, getting your state, your emotions, your state of emotion right, to understand that you were not in the program specifically to compete for a job in the company, but you were given an opportunity to enhance the opportunities, or to enhance the skills that you have, so that you can be able to build your career outside, elsewhere, anywhere. And then, so the position here is you are given the opportunity to discover yourself, and to understand as to whether this is the way you want to be, or the job that you say you want to do, is it the correct job that you want to do. So it was not necessarily to compete for the job. So nobody is a loser going out of the program. So even if the company can absorb 1 or 2 out of the total number that they've taken, nobody is a loser. Nobody has lost just because they were not hired. So you have to understand that you were given the opportunity. Now what you have to do is look at what have you acquired during the program, and then now how can you use that to further build your career? How can you use the skills you got to achieve your dreams? How do you go out there in the market and make a difference? So in this chapter we show different streams or different ways that you can take. If you look at me and Colin, when I went out of my program, I went into entrepreneurship, and he went into the professional arena. So all of us, we went in different routes. So there are many routes that you can take out of the program. So we share a couple and basic ones. Number one being, sometimes you find that when you go out, you have realized that the career that you have chosen is not necessarily the career you want. Therefore, you will want to go into a different route. So maybe you have also recognized that maybe the route that you want to take requires an extra qualification that you have to take. So therefore, one of the route is, it might be going back to school full time and study further. Then another route can be looking for employment. So looking for employment can be two ways, either within the company or outside of the company, which we go into detail as to if you choose to go into the company or if you want a job within the company, what are the specific steps that you must take? And then if you want to find employment elsewhere, also what are the specific steps that you can take? Also, then another route would be entrepreneurship. So entrepreneurship also is self-employment, or you want to start your own company, or you go into the music, or maybe music, or you want to do, you want to be a painter, or you want to be an actor, you want to do all those things. So in also there, we went further to share different things, that specific things that you must do in order to make sure that you succeed. We share experiences, we share methods, we share contacts of people that can help you, and we share a number of checklists. We give templates and checklists all the way through the book that helps you to achieve whatever you want to do. Also, we share the number of funding agencies that can help you, because a lot of people struggle in starting their companies because of the finance issue. So we share a bit of number of organizations that can help in funding your business. So one of the chapters in part E, Get Ahead, Get Beyond, is building a network. This is one of the chapters that I believe everybody, you must understand and master as a career builder, because building a network it's one of the necessary things that you need in order for you to build your career. Building a network, we share strategies on how to build that network. Having a social capital, which is form part of the 4 pillars of career building, which I'll share in the other video. But then social capital, it's important for success. No matter what you do, whether you're an entrepreneur, whether you're an employee, whether you go into the professional, whether you're a singer, you need to have social capital. Social capital is who knows you and who knows what you know. Because your success is dependent on somebody knowing you. Because if nobody knows what you do, then nobody can hire you. Nobody can pay you for that. So building a network, that network of people, a network of relationships that will help you build your career. So in this chapter, we go deep and we give you templates. We give you email templates. We give you telephone scripts as to what can you use if you want to contact, maybe to start a conversation with somebody. Maybe you want to ask for mentorship. Maybe you want you met somebody and then you want to speak to them. Or maybe you are in a networking environment. How do you begin? How do you start to speak to them? And then what are the specific things that you must tell them in 1 minute that they can be interested in you? So we teach you the elevator pitch in building a network. So this is one of the chapters that I believe, even if you can start reading the book or start by it, I wouldn't mind, because this one, you would use it no matter where you are and whatever stage you are in your career building journey. So this one, you have to understand and you have to read and you have to practice. It doesn't matter how old you are. Even 8-year people, they still need these skills. So we have gone as far as giving you all the tools you need to build this one. So you have no excuse. Where to get the book? The book is out. So you can, if you're looking for an ebook you can get on Amazon, or you can also get it on careerbuilders.co.za, www.careerbuilders.co.za. You'll find the link there to the books, or go to the resources tab. And also you can either email us at info@careerbuilders.co.za, or you can contact me directly, Matome at careerbuilders.co.za, or call our landline, our office, which is 011 055 1953. Then you'll also get somebody will help you as to how you buy the book.